Welcome to another edition of Play It Through, and on this edition it's Master Chu and the Drunkard, brought to us by Color Dreams. Now this game was actually developed by an Asian company called Seishin that made a lot of bootleg titles in the Asian market. Color Dreams is really a bootleg company of its own, making unlicensed titles for the NES. Being unlicensed, it allowed them to make games without having to pay any kind of publishing rights to Nintendo. And their games were always obviously unlicensed because of the weird colors and shapes of their cartridges. Another interesting note about the company is they made unlicensed games under multiple titles. Now you had Color Dreams, which made this one, you also had the name Bunch Games, which made several other titles, and then you had the infamous Wisdom Tree, the publishing company that made unlicensed Bible games for the NES. So here we go with Master Chu and the Drunkard for the NES. Now you can actually play this game 2-player, but I'm not really sure why you would, or if you could actually find someone who would want to play the game with you. Being an unlicensed title, it definitely has many flaws. The goal of the game is to go through each level, find 8 yin-yang symbols, and then advance to the next level. Now these 8 yin-yang symbols are hidden throughout each level, as well as some of them being visible. As you progress through the game, less become visible and more become invisible, making it a tougher challenge to find each one. Now to find the invisible one, you have to attack pretty much everything in the background. And I do mean everything. You have these random pots and vases that you have to attack. Other yin-yang symbols can be attacked, and sometimes you'll find an item, sometimes of course being the yin-yang symbol. And then what makes it even more challenging is there's random spots in the background that are completely blank, and you have to attack them in order to find certain items, or find yin-yang symbols. Now after you find 8 yin-yang symbols in each level, you're automatically teleported to the exit, thankfully, and then you have to do battle with the bosses of the game. Each level has its own boss, and then at the end of the game you have a series of levels that are just boss gauntlets against multiple bosses. Now all the bosses, thankfully, play exactly the same. Now that was a tree boss, and I'll get into more of the strategy as we go on, because I'll have multiple opportunities to talk about the strategies for each boss. Now here we are in level 2, and we have the first opportunity to attack the random yin-yangs that are in the background. One of the most beneficial things is you do get a power-up randomly from attacking things. One of the power-ups is a necklace that gives you invincibility for a short period of time. However, it has a very annoying buzz sound that goes off every time you grab it, so it really comes up to the choice of whether or not to put yourself through that ear torture, or grab yourself a little bit of invincibility. Of course, turning on the mute button or turning down the volume will definitely help with that pain. You also get the ability for a short period of time to throw out a double shot from some of the upgrades. Now that ends up being a pretty beneficial upgrade. Because of it, you actually will be able to shoot that spread shot, and sometimes it will hit some of the random objects you have to attack to find objects. So it gives you an advantage in finding those objects that are completely hidden in the backgrounds of the stages. Now this is the second boss, who looks a lot different than the first one, however he moves and attacks pretty much the exact same way. Now as we go into round 3, it's more of the same. Finding yin-yang symbols, a lot of them are starting now to be hidden compared to the first one. You have to see more of this fire set up throughout stages. Now most fire you can attack in the game and actually kill the fire, if that makes any sense. You can actually take it out so that you can't run into it. Now there are some other power-ups, one of the other ones being this little yellow guy, or object that, well, right there exactly, looks kind of maybe like a gingerbread man. He pops out and he'll run across the screen real fast, but however, if you do grab him, you end up getting a health upgrade, and it refills your health, so he's beneficial to catch and hunt down. Now right there you can see is the necklace that actually will give me invincibility for a period of time. Now thankfully I was near the end of the level, so I didn't have to hear that ear-piercing sound for very long. Now this is the third boss, and yes, he's exactly the same as the boss from the first level, and moves like the other ones have already moved as well. Now the strategy for these bosses is they only have really 2 things they'll do. You move to the right side of the screen at the beginning of the level, because they're going to fire projectiles at you. However, you have a brief period of invincibility to move across the screen quickly and not take any damage. Once you get near the boss, you can start attacking him. He'll usually walk slowly in your direction. You can jump over him. He'll then stop when he gets to the left. He'll then either do one of 2 things. He'll either jump straight up, and then fall right back down, and then fire 3 shots at you. Or, he'll jump over you, or attempt to jump over you, in which case you can either go under him on some bosses, Or in other cases, you have to jump over him as well, but since you can jump higher than him, you can easily jump over him, and then he'll slowly begin to walk back. Or he'll just walk back to the right, in which case you can easily jump over him and attack him from the back as he slowly walks, and then he'll repeat the process walking towards you, jump over him again, and then hit him in the back as he walks, and then he'll do one of those three things again, either jumping straight up, jumping over you, or just walking straight back at you. Now, as I just finished explaining the boss strategy, you can already see I defeated another level, and here is the boss. As you'll see, he does one of a few things. He'll either jump straight up, he'll walk towards you, or he'll try to jump over me. Now, you can actually block the projectiles, because you don't have a jump button in the game. The up button ends up being jump. And because of that, you actually shoot projectiles with one button, and then have a fan with the other button, which really wouldn't seem necessary, or you have no idea what it is at first. However, what it does do is it blocks the projectiles of the enemies. Now, in this level is really our introduction of these totem poles that shoot arrows at you. Now, thankfully, you can get behind them and shoot them a few times to take them out, and you'll see a little bit of an explosion, which signifies that you've taken them out. I highly recommend doing that on each of them, so that when you're progressing through the stage and trying to jump, you won't take any unnecessary damage from the arrows. Just like some other bad games, the hit detection isn't always perfect in this title by far. However, in this stage, we have the same things as we've been doing. As you can see right there, I attacked nothing. However, a yin-yang symbol did appear afterwards. Now, it is hard to give a strategy in the game in terms of finding yin-yang symbols. My only real strategy for it is to just keep attacking everything. If you make it to the end of the stage and you somehow didn't collect all the yin-yang symbols yet, just work your way slowly back through it, attacking everything you see. Everything in the background and every little spot of black that you can even see in the background, you must attack. As you can see right there, I didn't have enough by the time I reached the end, but I moved forward and I actually see something that I missed. I didn't hit that scroll in the background just right in order for it to activate that yin-yang symbol. Now here we go with the boss of this stage, and you'll see, what a surprise. He's going to do the exact same thing as before. He's easily taken out by defeating him. I then hit this treasure chest to get the key to appear, and we move on to round number 6.